Chasing money is the fastest way to stay broke. It sounds wrong at first, almost offensive, because everything you've been told says the opposite. Work harder, earn more, hustle longer, add another income stream, wake up earlier, sleep later, push more, grind more, chase more. And maybe that's exactly what you've been doing. You've tried picking up extra work. Maybe you started something on the side. Maybe you've been constantly thinking about how to make more, scrolling through ideas, watching videos, chasing the next opportunity. And yet, somehow, nothing really changes. The numbers go up, but so do the expenses. The effort increases, but so does the pressure. You're moving faster, but not actually moving forward. So you push harder, because that's what makes sense, right? But here's the part no one tells you. The more you chase money, the more your life starts revolving around it. Your decisions become reactive, your time becomes scattered, your focus breaks into pieces. You're no longer building anything, you're just responding, constantly adjusting, constantly trying to keep up. You were told to chase money, but no one told you what happens when you do. No one told you that chasing money can trap you in a cycle where you're always working, always thinking, always trying, but never actually getting ahead. And the most dangerous part? It doesn't feel like a trap. It feels like progress. But there's a hidden pattern most people never see. A quiet shift that separates people who spend their lives earning money from those who actually build wealth. And once you see it, everything about how you approach money starts to change. Why more money doesn't fix your life? At some point, almost everyone believes the same thing. If I just make more money, everything will finally fall into place. Life will feel lighter. Stress will disappear. Freedom will become real. It sounds logical. After all, money pays the bills, solves problems, and opens doors. So naturally, more money should mean a better life. But something strange happens when income increases. As you start earning more, your life quietly begins to expand with it. You upgrade your lifestyle without even thinking about it. A slightly better phone, a more comfortable place, more convenience, better food, small changes that feel deserved, even necessary. And none of it feels excessive. It just feels like progress. But over time, these upgrades stack up, and your new normal becomes more expensive than your old one. So even though you're earning more, you're also spending more. And the gap between what you make and what you keep doesn't really change. At the same time, the pressure increases. More income often comes with more responsibility, more expectations, and less mental space. You're thinking about money more, not less. You're managing more decisions, not fewer. The very thing you thought would bring relief starts demanding more from you. This is where most people get stuck without realizing it. Because the problem was never just income. Money solves money problems, not life problems. It can fix a bill, remove a debt, or give you access, but it doesn't automatically give you peace, clarity, or control. If your thinking, habits, and patterns don't change, more money simply magnifies what's already there. So, you respond the only way that seems reasonable. You chase even more. You tell yourself that the next level will be different, that once you earn just a little bit more, things will finally stabilize. But instead, the cycle continues. Earn more, spend more, carry more pressure, then chase again. It becomes an endless loop, and before you realize it, you're not building freedom. You're maintaining a lifestyle that keeps you dependent on the very money you're chasing. The invisible loop. If you step back and really observe what's happening, a pattern begins to reveal itself, one that most people are living through without ever noticing. It starts simply. You earn money, and for a moment, it feels like progress. There's relief, maybe even excitement. You feel like you're finally moving forward, but then, almost quietly, your lifestyle adjusts. You start spending a little more, upgrading things, making life slightly more comfortable. nothing extreme, just enough to match your new level. And then something shifts. What once felt like enough no longer is. So you need more. That's when the cycle resets. You go back to chasing. You push harder, look for new ways to earn, stretch your time, divide your focus. And when the money comes in again, the same pattern repeats. Earn more, upgrade your life, feel the pressure rise, then chase again. Over and over, without pause. But beneath this cycle, there's something deeper driving it, something psychological. Dopamine. Every time you earn more, spend more, or upgrade something in your life, your brain rewards you. It gives you a small sense of satisfaction, a temporary high. And like anything that feels good, you start wanting more of it. Not just money, but the feeling that comes with it. The sense of progress, even if it's not real progress. So your decisions slowly become emotional, not intentional. You're no longer thinking long-term. You're reacting to short-term feelings. And that's what keeps the loop alive. It's like running on a treadmill that speeds up every time you move faster. At first, you think running faster is the solution. But the faster you go, the faster the treadmill responds. And no matter how much effort you put in, you're still in the same place, just more exhausted. This is where the real danger lies. The harder you chase, the less control you have. Because now your time is controlled by money. Your energy is controlled by pressure. Your decisions are controlled by urgency. You're constantly reacting, constantly adjusting, constantly trying to keep up. And the most dangerous part is that it doesn't feel like you're stuck. It feels like you're trying. But awareness changes everything. The moment you see the loop for what it is, you begin to realize something powerful. You were never lacking effort. You were just caught in a system that rewards movement, but not progress. Why chasing money makes you poorer. At the center of everything is a truth that most people never stop long enough to see. Chasing money doesn't just fail to build wealth. It actively pulls you away from it. Not because money is bad, but because the act of chasing forces you into a way of thinking that keeps you stuck at the surface. When you're chasing money, your focus narrows. Everything becomes urgent. You start thinking in terms of immediate needs. What can I do right now to make more? Where is the fastest opportunity? What pays the quickest? Your decisions become short-term by default. You prioritize speed over direction, action over strategy, movement over meaning. And in that state, you're always reacting. Reacting to bills, reacting to opportunities, reacting to pressure, reacting to the next need. There's no space to think long-term because everything feels immediate. You're solving today's problems, but never stepping back to design tomorrow's outcomes. That's the hidden cost. Because wealth doesn't respond to urgency. Wealth responds to structure. While chasers are focused on quick wins, builders are focused on systems. While one is looking for the next paycheck, the other is building something that generates value consistently. One is reacting to money, the other is positioning for it. Chasers look for income, builders create systems. That difference changes everything. A system doesn't depend on your constant effort. It doesn't reset every time you stop. It builds, compounds, and strengthens over time. Whether it's a skill that increases your value, an asset that produces returns, or a process that works without your direct involvement, systems shift you from effort-based income to leverage-based growth. And that's where patience comes in. Because real wealth is not dramatic. It's not fast. It doesn't feel exciting in the moment. It's built quietly through consistency, through discipline, through decisions that don't always give immediate results. While chasing feels active and rewarding in the short term, building often feels slow and invisible at first. But over time, the difference becomes undeniable. Ownership is what completes this shift. When you own something, your work, your systems, your assets, you stop trading time for money and start creating value that exists beyond your effort. You move from earning to generating. And that's the moment everything changes. Money is not something you chase. It's something you attract through value. When you focus on becoming valuable, on building something meaningful, on creating systems that solve real problems, money stops being something you run after. It becomes something that naturally moves toward you. Because value is what money follows. So the real shift is not about doing more. It's about thinking differently, moving away from chasing and stepping into building, moving away from reacting and stepping into designing, moving away from urgency and stepping into patience. Because the moment you stop chasing money is the moment you finally start building wealth. The psychology shift. Everything begins to change the moment you realize this is not just about money. It's about how you think. Because before wealth becomes visible in your bank account, it first forms in your mindset. And most people are operating from a place they don't even recognize: scarcity. A scarcity mindset is subtle. It doesn't always look like fear. It looks like urgency. It sounds like, I need to make more money now. It feels like pressure to take every opportunity, chase every quick win, and avoid missing out. When you think this way, your decisions become driven by lack. You focus on what you don't have, what you might lose, and what you need immediately. And without realizing it, you trap yourself in constant reaction. But there's another way of thinking, one that shifts everything: a leverage mindset. Instead of asking, how can I make money right now, you begin asking, what can I build that creates value over time? The focus moves from speed to direction, from effort to strategy. You stop trying to do more and start trying to do what matters. This is how wealthy people think differently. They don't obsess over money itself. They focus on the things that produce it. They invest time into developing valuable skills because skills increase their ability to create value anywhere. They think in terms of long-term positioning, making decisions today that will pay off months or years later. And most importantly, they prioritize ownership of their work, their ideas, their systems, because ownership is what allows wealth to grow without constant effort. It's a completely different game, and the shift is internal before it becomes external. The goal is not to get money. It's to become someone money flows to. That means becoming disciplined when others are impulsive, becoming patient when others are chasing, becoming focused when others are distracted. It means valuing growth over quick rewards and direction over speed. Because once your thinking changes, your actions follow. And once your actions change, your results eventually do too. This is where the real transformation happens. Not in how much you earn, but in who you become. What to do instead. Once you see the trap, the next question becomes simple. What do you do differently? Not in theory, but in real life, starting from where you are. The first shift is to stop making money the center of every decision. Instead, focus on building something that produces it. That begins with skills. Not random skills, but valuable ones. Skills that solve real problems, communicate ideas clearly, create opportunities, or improve systems. Because skills travel with you. They increase your earning potential, not just once, but repeatedly across different situations. At the same time, begin thinking in terms of leverage. Leverage means creating something that works beyond your direct effort. It could be a system, a process, a digital asset, a piece of content, or even a way of doing things that saves time and multiplies output. Instead of asking, what can I do today to earn? Ask, what can I build today that keeps working tomorrow? That single shift moves you from effort-based income to growth-based progress. But none of this works without patience. This is where most people struggle. Because building feels slow in the beginning. It doesn't give you immediate rewards. It doesn't feel exciting. But what it lacks in speed, it makes up for in direction. Small, consistent actions, learning, improving, refining, start to compound over time. And unlike chasing, This kind of progress doesn't reset. The real behavioral shift is this: stop reacting to money. Stop letting urgency dictate your decisions. Stop jumping at every opportunity just because it promises quick returns. Instead, start positioning for money. That means choosing actions that align with where you want to be, not just where you are. It means being intentional with your time, your focus, and your energy. You don't need to do everything at once. You just need to start thinking differently, acting deliberately, and staying consistent long enough to see the results. Because clarity doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing what actually works. Now you see what most people don't. You see that the problem was never just money. It was the way you were taught to think about it. The constant chasing, the endless pressure, the belief that more effort alone would eventually set you free. But now you understand something deeper. That chasing keeps you stuck, while building moves you forward. And this is where the real shift happens. You're no longer the person running after money, hoping it finally works out. You're becoming someone who builds with intention, someone who thinks long-term, someone who understands that real progress is quiet, steady, and strategic. You move from being reactive, responding to every need, every pressure, every opportunity, to being intentional, choosing where your time, energy, and focus go. You move from desperation, where everything feels urgent, to strategy, where every step has direction. This is no longer about doing more. It's about becoming different. Because once you change how you think, you change how you act. And once you change how you act, your results begin to follow. And that leads to the realization most people never reach. Money was never meant to be chased. It was meant to follow who you become. So instead of running faster, you start building smarter. Instead of chasing outcomes, you focus on creating value. And over time, everything begins to shift, not all at once, but in a way that actually lasts. If this changed how you see money, subscribe. Because here, we don't chase money. We understand the game. And if you're ready to take the next step, watch the next video to learn how to start building real wealth from exactly where you are right now.